Mark Steele. You've done extensive work at engineer firms. You're a director at BSC. You teach geographic information systems and unmanned aerial systems. And you're an instructor at CycleBar.
Most of that is correct.
Okay.
I recently gave up the teaching part at BSC, but I'm still I'm a grant director. So
Nice.
I instead of teaching in the classroom, I work to build enrollment, boost enrollment.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So before I start this episode in particular, I did, because I don't know, you know Kylie, obviously.
Yeah, I just saw her last week. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Where'd you guys even meet? How did you know? Because she knows so many people, and she's recommended so many people to be on. So
oh, really? Yeah. So Kylie and I both grew up in Bismarck, and we're about the same age, but I didn't know her until she became a student at the college. So she had been to Denver and got a degree in diesel tech and decided she wanted to do something else. So I met her we were probably both in our 30s, and I was her teacher.
Oh, really?
And she was a really good student, so then we hired her on as an assistant, tutor.
Really?
Yep. And so she did she would help us if we had students that needed assistance or whatever. And then we just became friends after that. So
oh, that's super cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's such a weird transition to what she's doing now. I don't know if you know what she's doing now for work.
I do, and I'm trying to help her find something else.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like it's not really the job that a lot of women are involved in, it's more like operating heavy machinery and stuff. Yep. And she's great at it, but you just don't know the kind of how interested women are and stuff like that and how long they want to do it.
Yep.
So I don't know. Kylie texted me before you came on the show, and she, this is something I want to do for more of the interviews, but she said to ask Mark about his alien experience.
Okay.
Does she know something?
Yeah.
Is it a joke?
I don't share it with a lot of people, but we can talk about that. Yeah.
Oh man, I would love to hear it.
Okay.
First of all, the first question I have is, do you feel like it was a real thing? It's not like a figment of your imagination or a dream you had or something? You feel like you had something real happen?
At the time.
Really?
Yes. To the point where I was scared to even tell anybody.
Oh wow.
So I lived with that for about a month, I would say.
Oh no.
I was absolutely convinced that I had an experience. We'll just leave it at that.
So you say was as a past tense thing. Have you changed your mind?
I have.
Since then? Really?
Yeah, I have. I still believe in them. I think they're out there. But I think what had happened to me was sleep paralysis. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we've both had it.
I've
had
it before. Yeah.
It was mine.
It is scary when it happens.
Yeah. My experience, I'll tell before if you want to talk about yours, that's fine. But my experience that I had, I was laying in my bed, or not in my bed. I was on my couch out in my living room. And I had fallen asleep, and I've told this story on the podcast years ago. I had fallen asleep with my face facing the back of the couch. So I couldn't see anything behind me, and I'd fallen asleep like that. And I woke up, and I didn't, at the time, I knew what sleep paralysis was, but I still didn't think that that's what this was, even after I had come out of whatever this was, right? So I wake up, I'm laying with my face looking at the couch, and I didn't feel like I couldn't move, because that's what you hear. You hear people say sleep paralysis, my eyes were open or whatever, couldn't move, I feel this presence, right? I felt like I was in control of my faculties. I felt like I could get up and move whenever. I didn't feel frozen. And I'm laying on and looking at the back of this couch, and I hear and I sense something behind me. I could feel it. I knew someone was in my house, and I could hear things. And I'm laying there for a second just trying to figure out, where are the weapons? Because I always keep weapons in my house. I have my gun, I've got machetes, and I'm thinking someone's in my house. Where are my weapons? How do I get to them? Can I get to them fast? So I had this blanket over me, and I came up with this plan, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take the blanket and I'm going to whip it off as fast as I can. I'm going to jump up and I'm going to run to my bedroom and get my gun or my knife or whatever I was thinking about at the time. And I finally built up the courage to do it. And so I took this blanket and I flung it off of me, and the blanket hit the ground, and I sat up off the couch, and I turned around. Now, the blanket's already on the floor, right? And over across the room, I had a table with a little music player and stuff on it. I'm trying to decide how far away. Maybe from that wall to that wall, far away from me, right? So when I sat up and turned around, the papers that were on that table went, whew, they moved. And it wasn't the blanket, because there had been enough time. The blanket had already hit the floor. It wasn't like there was this crazy wind that could have gone over there. Mm-hmm. And I sat up and turned around, and I see the papers go, whew, and I just sat there. And there's no one in my house, so I'm not getting up to run for my gun or anything like I was going to. But, you know, I'm looking around. There's no one here. I saw the papers move, and I was just freaking out, man. And that was probably, I still don't know what the hell that could have been. I've tried to process it as, you know, it was the blanket, you know. But I didn't throw it that hard. I just threw it off of me onto the floor. You know, even if I had shook the blanket from where I was at, it wouldn't have done that with the papers.
Like something moved it.
It was so sketchy, man. It was so sketchy.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
How are you doing with that? Like, if you let it go and just kind of like, just living with,
I love it because I like alien stuff.
Revisit every now and then, kind of relive it. Try to think, okay, did I leave a window open? Was the air conditioner blowing?
I've thought about all.
Did I have a fan oscillating?
No,
none of those things.
None of those things. My fan didn't even work at the time. I had a fan that was broken right above me. Yeah. And I've, you know, that kind of thing, because we specifically. I don't know about Silas, I guess. I don't know if I've talked to you too much about UFO stuff and aliens. And I don't even know if you could classify this as like a UFO or an alien experience. But maybe something spiritual. I don't know. And I've just, my whole life since then, I've just wanted to, I don't try to explain it away as, I mean, I did at the time, I guess. But now I just want it to be something extraterrestrial or whatever.
You're kind of hoping it.
I want it to be
visited by like some kind of spirit or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's just weird because people will tell their stories about the paralysis stuff and they couldn't move. I didn't feel like that was the case. I was laying there trying to come up with a plan of when I was gonna flip around and do whatever. That was probably the weirdest one I've had. I've had sleep paralysis since then, but it just. That one, the other sleep paralysis things that I've had were exactly what you hear people describe sleep paralysis as, where I was in my bed, kind of frozen, and just you're fighting to pull yourself out of it to get your limbs to move and stuff. And they say you're supposed to wiggle your toes, I think, is the best way to get yourself out of it.
I wish I would have known at the time. Just laid there and just harrowing. Terrified.
So you were in bed at the time.
Was home? In bed. Yeah, I was. So I had been going through a lot at the time. I was recently divorced, and so I was going through a lot. If you research like sleep paralysis, it hits you when you're tired and stressed and have high anxiety and so I had all those things, and I wasn't taking care of myself at the time, and I was living alone. My kids would see me half the time, but I didn't have them. During this period. And I was just laying there sleeping and all of a sudden on my back, right? I was just sleeping on my back and all of a sudden, I became awake, conscious, and I couldn't move. I had, that's the classic, you're laying there. And there was there was an entity, a being like you would, when you watch UFO shows, I don't know if you guys are into that kind of thing, but it was the classic, 4 foot tall, big black eyes, gray body, slender limbs, big fucking head, and he's just like staring at me. He's not doing anything. He's just looking at me. What? And then there's this like this low humming, getting stronger and stronger. This very sinister sound that I'm hearing that's like vibrating through my whole body. Mm-hmm. And that happened for what felt like an eternity. Maybe in reality it was only a minute or two, but like in my mind at that time, this went on for way too long.
Wow.
And then I woke up. Right. Scared as hell. Nothing was there. There was no light shining in. Everything was normal. I was so scared, you guys. I was terrified. Then it happened again.
What?
So I somehow I get my heart rate back down. This is like 2 a.m, right? And I get my heart rate back down. I'm scared shitless. I go around. I was living in a twin home. I was not armed. I had maybe like a baseball bat. Maybe was the closest thing I had to a weapon. Calm myself back down. I can't remember. Maybe I took some melatonin. I fall back asleep. Sure enough, they came back. And again, paralyzed. Only this time, they like you see on TV, like it sucked me up. A light came in, tractor beam, sucked me up through the. I mean, I'm just like it's crazy to hear myself say it now, but like
I get it.
The roof opened up, and now I'm through all the roof and the wood and the rafters and all that stuff, and I'm on board now. And now there's like 10 of these mother, and then looking around at me, and I'm just like, well, this is gonna suck. I need to do whatever I need to do to get back to my body. Like, I was thinking about my kids. Like, I can't move. Like, why did they choose me? Like, what are they gonna do? And again, that went on. The same noise. This time, the bright lights. I don't feel like they were really doing anything to me, but like they were about to. Like that pending sense of doom was just over. I was overcome with it, and again, thankfully, I snapped out of it. Again, back to my body. I think I stayed awake until I had to go to work the next day, and then, like I was saying, I lived with that. I was scared to tell my coworkers, friends. I held on to that for like a month.
Wow.
And finally told somebody that I worked with about it, and I told an engineer, and of course an engineer is like, well, we need to set up some cameras, and we're gonna catch these. Like, we're gonna do motion sensing, and then that way we'll know if there really was somebody in your house. And he's like, I don't think it's aliens, but maybe there was an intruder, and you were just like, were you doing any drugs? Well, yeah, but I don't think that was the reason that like, I don't know. I was convinced, man, and then. Just doing a little bit of research into sleep paralysis, and everything that you said makes sense, Jared, but there's a lot of history on it, and it goes back hundreds of years. If you read about it, you'll notice that in like the 1800s, there's reports of this, but instead of aliens, it was demons and witches and trolls, because they didn't really think about alien life at that. Like, the most frightening thing to them at that time was like
witchcraft,
earthly creatures that could be summoned, and witchcraft and and those types of things. But there's a Netflix special on it too, if you've ever seen that one, where people will give their stories. And,
I've tried to watch just about every single one that I can find.
So go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna there's one coming out with Bob Lazar. Because he's the famous guy who worked at Area 51 and all that. And they have a documentary coming out. Someone finally did a good one with him, and he's in it and everything. And I believe they built an entire model of the craft that he described at Area 51.
Yeah.
And they're going to show that. And I don't know when that comes out, but I think it's going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
That's going to be cool, though.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I eat that stuff up. And maybe that was part of the problem, too, is like I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I was really into like war documentaries, anything history, serial killers, aliens. And if you watch too much of that shit, like
Gets in your
over
head,
a period of
stays.
time, like I'm getting dark. I'm having dark thoughts over here. Like, if I killed someone, where would I want to dispose of the body?
I absolutely get
I need
that.
some sports. I need some cartoons or something. I need to flush that.
Yeah, I do a detox.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just too heavy. In the mindset that I was at, that's what that's what I was drawn to, like those types of, and I like to learn, so I'm all about history, but too much. Too much.
Maybe got to make. But you can't help what you're interested in, though.
No, you can't.
It's like I can't get into.
I feel like
sports.
I reached the end of Netflix on the serial killer stuff, because like the same one started coming up. Like, I've seen that one twice.
Did you watch Dexter?
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah,
I've watched that through and through like 4 times, all of them, because I couldn't. And now they got new ones.
I didn't know they had new ones coming out. Yeah,
they just came out with new episodes.
Okay,
where he's like older now and he's dealing with his son. I don't want to give too much away. I just started it like last week, and I got to wait till I have some more free days, and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Skis, you had a question. What were you going to ask?
Oh, I was just going to ask, did it feel more like you were actually there, or like an out of body experience?
I've had those before where you could like see your body from above.
Yeah.
I've had those that were not related.
Okay.
So this was very much of like, no, I'm awake. I'm in my body.
Oh, okay.
And my perspective was from like my body. It wasn't that I was looking like down on myself or anything like that. I was seeing them from the bottom up the whole time I was on my back. These guys, they didn't have any weapons or clothing or anything, but man, I mean, it was like I said, it was a harrowing experience.
That's such a classic alien story too. The short part of it. I don't understand the significance of that, but they're always the more credible stories that you hear from people. They're these little 4 foot tall, weird little creatures that I don't get it. I don't know what that. I wish I could see. See, that's what I wish I'd have seen when I flipped around in my bed.
Maybe there's still time for you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
See, that's how mine was. But yeah, I felt like I was out of my body. I could see myself, and they were standing next to the bed, and they were like 4 foot tall. My girl's laying next to me too, like asleep. And I could see both of us in our bedroom. Everything was exactly where it was supposed to be.
Huh.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And you saw a light too, didn't you, when you were at...
No, all of a sudden I was like above myself, and like I could hear somebody talking to me too, like we're gonna let I can't remember exactly what they said or who it was. I don't know what was talking to me. They said we're gonna let everybody know.
No, that
we're
house...
gonna tell people.
I'm talking about that house you had in the country, and you would tell me sometimes you'd see light out.
That I've had all kinds of stuff happen, yeah. Yeah, I woke up and see lights or...
Why didn't see? This is where we.
But that's out in the country, so you're like out of the city limits. Everything's very dark. So I mean, when something's there, it's like it's very noticeable.
Yep.
Like it's. I mean, it's pitch black outside. There's no street lights. Nothing.
So we all want to know the question everybody wants to ask people who say they've seen stuff. Why didn't you film it, Skis? Why didn't you pull out your camera?
Because half the time you're half asleep, you wake up, you don't know what's going on.
But you said it's happened a lot. Next time, bro, you better pull that camera out. You know?
I've had stuff too though where lights like turn on and off by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole different aspect though.
Right.
Speaking of shows though, there's the new Alien show too, right? Alien Earth?
Yeah, we started watching that a little bit.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I like the old ones.
Yeah.
This one just seems a little... Okay, the beginning starts out really slow and then it got good. So I'll amend what I said. It gets good. Just maybe the first episode, and that happens with a lot of shows. The first episode, you're like, oh, what is this? Like, where is this going? They're trying to get you, I don't know, tell you the backstory of too many things all at once, and you're just not invested that much, you know. But that one, I think episode 2 is where I was like, oh, whoa, now there's aliens and stuff. And there's this and that. Yeah, it's a good show.
It's a slow build.
Yeah. So had you... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, that story you described was so interesting to me. The first one especially. Like, I'm going... And it sounds like a movie. Like, it literally sounds like something you'd see in a movie. Yeah. And the level of detail that you can recall to this day is part of what really astonishes me. And I feel like something like that, it would be hard for an engineer to convince me that wasn't what I saw.
Right.
Like, what is it that has shifted your perspective on that since it happened?
Oh, good question.
That Netflix special, definitely seeing that, researching it, and having other people have similar things where they thought that they had an experience like mine, but then through research and the process of elimination, came to the conclusion that it was most likely sleep paralysis and that they weren't visited. Because if you think of the physics behind that, like there was no evidence. Like I didn't wake up with markings or bruises or any kind of
implants or anything like that.
Not that I know of. I mean, maybe if they were really good, maybe you wouldn't even notice.
It's interesting.
But that sound, though, that still sticks with me to this day. That buzzing. Almost like, did you ever, when you were younger, and I did this, and I was like, I'd done a lot of stupid shit. But like, did you ever play the pass out game?
Hold
where
your
you
breath?
like make yourself pass out, and you kind of get that ringing or buzzing in your ears right before you're passing out or coming out of it. It was it was kind of like that.
Huh.
I would say I never played that game, but the closest I came to it, I used to do like fighting, like MMA, mixed martial arts stuff, and I'd get knocked out in training, you know. And
It's probably similar to like,
yeah.
you had your bell rung a few times.
Yeah. And it happened once. I got knocked out, and they picked me up, and I'm like, don't know where I'm at. I'm like, what's going on, right? And the guy I was training with, he was going to do an actual fight, and so he was practicing on me. I was his practice dummy. He was a lot better than I was. So he knocked me out, and I've learned later you should never go back to train after you've been knocked out. I went straight back into it, got knocked out again. Must have had a concussion, but you wake up just everything. I hear ringing. I'm all the nonsense. You know, don't know where I'm at. Don't know what happened. Yeah. Concussion for sure. Yeah. And before this instance, were you an alien or a UFO guy before you had this experience?
Yeah, and then I was starting to think, well, maybe that kind of led me down that path of, because I've had it before, but there was never a visitation associated with it. I've had it where I was just paralyzed, and that was still frightening as well because you couldn't move, and you're able to hear things around you, like you were kind of like, I guess, and you came to the realization that, hey, I'm fine. I know what this is. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to take control of this situation.
Right.
When it happens to me, I can't recognize what it is. So I'm in that moment, in that space, and I haven't grasped that ability to like whip off the covers or like plan my attack. It's just fighting. Sometimes trying to make sounds to try to wake somebody up, but then maybe realizing that there's nobody home. And I'm in this. It's me and the fucking thing.
Right.
You know, someone's got to like wake me up. And, you know, I don't know. I've talking to other people, like, you know, even all of us in this room have maybe experienced similar things. I think it's pretty common. It's just.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm fortunate now, though. I did after that, I started taking better care of myself. And I have not had a single instance of that in probably 7 or 8 years.
Oh, wow.
You think it was health related?
I think I was it was post-divorce, and I was drinking a lot, and I was on the road with my job, and it was a lot of long hours, and just trying to figure out, like, what's my life going to look like now? I'm on my own. I've got 3 kids. Need to like kind of reinvent myself, right?
Yeah.
I had to give up the teaching because of it, because I needed. I was only working 9 months when I was a teacher, and so I didn't want to quit. I love teaching, but I could make more money in engineering field, so I went back and did that out of necessity.
Right.
They're both great jobs, but
Sure.
I get more personal satisfaction out of teaching and helping others. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't teach, man. It's not my strong suit. You have to know things to be able to teach things, you know?
Well, you have to know like a little bit more than they do. But then just convince them that you know a lot more.
Sure.
Stay like a week ahead.
Sure, yeah.
I like how you say that. It's funny.
Do you have a good memory, would you say? Like a really good memory?
Not anymore. No, I've
Really?
noticed my memory's kind of gone downhill. I can remember stuff from a long time ago.
Right.
But if you ask me what I had for breakfast this morning, I might struggle to pull that information.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I think a lot of us are that same way.
I'm good with names though. Like with my
man.
students, I always try to remember their names. Or at CycleBar, when a new member, I try to learn their names and make sure they feel welcome, and that's a place they want to come back to because you see them. I just think there's something very just human about like recognizing someone and seeing them and calling them by name when they walk in the door.
Right.
And sometimes I'll mess it up and I'll get the wrong name, but damn it, I'm trying.
Yep.
Bro.
And I think they'd rather have you call them by the wrong name than not say anything to them other than hi,
sir. Everyone's sir, ma'am. It's
you
like
too.
when you're trying. It's a lot more personal. Yeah.
I'm so bad about that, man. I met somebody today and I still feel horrible about it. Shook his hand. I said, "Nice to meet you." And he goes, "Oh, we've met, a couple of times before this, but that's okay."
Grace. Yeah.
I was like,
that's going to happen. Yeah.
I wish I could fix that. I wish there was a technique. There's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't remember.
I've heard when you meet someone to remember their name better, like when you shake their hand, for example, you look them in their eye, and when they tell you their name, you repeat it back to them. That helps your mind recall it.
Mark Steele.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, Mark.
That's an easy name for me to remember because like the Steel stands out to me. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or an interview like this. I'll never forget you now because.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm talking more like you just the brief shake your hand and. But they'll remember me is what irritates me. I know we had such a brief interaction. How did you remember? And I don't even remember the interaction. You know my name.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
And some you run into all different kinds of people in life, and maybe some are more memorable than others.
Sure.
I don't know. Being from North Dakota, like we're a fairly homogenous group here, and so what worked for me teaching was to just ask them a couple quick questions and try to find something in common, whether it's where they grew up or it seems like we all know the same people around here, or someone that knows somebody,
right?
And that would help. But sometimes with the names too, like girls' names like Brienne or Brielle or Braylin, or it's just like they're all similar and it's a slight variation there. And so then that's when you're like brown hair, green eyes, and this kind of style or something, or or maybe you connect with them over music or sports or something else that's not maybe related to geography.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I was, for a long time, I would meet people when I was drinking back when I was 20s. And I would go through my phone sometimes. This person would text me and I would have just written down bar girl or, like brown boots. Like, and I'm like, who is this person? Why didn't I? Because they had introduced themselves to me. I had forgotten their name, but I'd gotten their number. And I'm like, well, just write down, something, whatever I can remember. It's just, I don't know. I wish I could fix that about my memory. I wish there was a pill. I wish there was AI technology that we could engineer something.
Yeah, somebody would probably try to sell you a supplement or something.
Sure.
Try to boost your memory. I don't know.
Yeah, lion's mane. What's the shrooms? Everybody's doing the shroom stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys ever tried like the mushroom coffee?
I'm taking the pills. The Genius mushroom pills. I've gotten them.
The mushroom.
I don't know if it cognitively did anything really for me. I took them for months to see.
Yeah.
And I also take other medications for other things, but I think it was coinciding with them also. So I'm not sure they really did much though for my mental status. I guess it's trying to remember things. Maybe a little less brain fog here and there, but
brain fog. When I get on supplements like that, I'll take just regular vitamins, I know a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D, especially we found that out over COVID. A lot of people were really vitamin D deficient. So if I take vitamin D, take iron, take Shroom Tech, which it's like a product that Joe Rogan sells, his company. AG1, they also sell that. It's like a mushroom supplement for your brain, stuff like that. That is one of the things that I have noticed is less brain fog and a little more energy, I think. But outside of that, it's just, if your brain works a certain way, I'm not so sure if I can get it to have I don't know if I can help the memory aspect of it. Maybe you can prevent it from deteriorating anymore with supplements like that. But as far as improving it, and I haven't gone as far as there's brain exercises you can do, right? Where you can sit there and I'm sure there are, I don't know what they are, but there's brain exercises to help strengthen your mind in that area. But I haven't done that.
I've got a question because I think about that and I feel like there's so much for everyone that you don't remember throughout the day because you only try to remember things you need to remember. Like, it takes up so much like mental energy to try to remember how many steps did I take going, from my bed to the kitchen or whatever it is, like things like that. And so, like, unless you have a reason to remember something, it's so, like, it's almost necessary for your brain to just, like, kind of forget it. Like, it made sense what Mark said earlier about remembering his students' names, because it's important to their experience with a teacher that the teacher remembers them. And so it's valuable for him to remember their name. It actually, like, affects the outcome for the students. Whereas meeting people in passing, it's like, you don't really, like, this isn't a big deal for either of us. Right. Most likely. And so I tend to think, like, it's just not a big deal, and that's, like, almost how it does work for the most part, that you just don't remember things that aren't that important.
I like that.
It's a great take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
No, there isn't. And I do a lot, like Silas was saying, I do a lot of conferences, a lot of outreach. I'm in high schools, middle schools, career academies, those kinds of places. And so I'm now high school students, they wouldn't expect you to, if they stop by my booth and want to talk about my programs, I'm not going to remember them. Probably won't even get their name.
Yeah.
But I want to connect with their teachers or anyone that has influence on where they might attend college. So I try hard to get the influencers' names, the parents, the counselors, the science teachers, those folks. But yeah,
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose as a teacher too, though, you're also trying to learn their names because you want them to remember you also, because you're trying to like teach them something, right? You're hoping they take something out of whatever you're doing. So maybe if you connect with them on that level also, they're going to give back what you put in, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I was never one to like, well, you have to call me Professor Steele, or it was usually Mark.
Very formal.
One time it was teacher, which I'm like, okay, we're in our 20s now. We don't raise our hand and say teacher, but it was cute.
I've seen those videos where the student will walk through the school and film himself, go up to the teachers and call them by their first name instead of Miss.
Yeah, I've seen those too. Yeah,
those are fun, man. Because some of them are like, "What did you call me?"
Yeah.
It's like, jeez, is it that serious? I guess I didn't. I don't
maybe
know.
for some, I became a teacher later in life. In my 30s, I had a whole other career prior to that, so I never felt like it was
right.
Yeah.
Think you ever might write a book? Someone asked me to ask you that, if you had a book, or if you were thinking about writing one.
I have a cousin that's a writer. He and I collaborated on some stuff years ago. It's since we've ceased that collaboration, but I've written some textbook material, so I've written like technical narratives, I guess, for lack of a better term, but as far as like a
like
fiction
a
or something, or I don't. I know I haven't thinking about writing anything like that. I've been really busy with juggling multiple jobs and the kids and everything like that. So
it's interesting, man. Yeah. So where you grew up in North Dakota? What was your childhood kind of like? Did you have both your parents? You grew up in Bismarck?
Yes. So I was born in Minot, grew up in Bismarck though. And yeah, I had a great childhood. I had both my parents. They were both educators. My mom taught kindergarten for most of her career. My dad was also in education, but he was more, he does a lot of the same stuff I do now, but he worked for the state. So he was like a director. Back in those days, it was called like vocational and technical education. Okay. It's CTE now, career and technical ed. So that's your career academies. Yeah. Like that's where high school students will go to take classes in aviation or engineering, electronics, cybersecurity, those kinds of things. And in addition to that, then it's all like your 2-year technical schools like Bismarck State College. There's some spread out throughout the state. But yeah, so it was his job to kind of work with those educators and those programs and make sure that they have all the resources that they need. My sister, I have one sister, she's a teacher as well.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, and I was always like, that's why I purposely didn't get into education, because I was like, nah, I'm going to go do something else. And it was kind of ironic that later in life, I'm working for my teaching, trying to get my teaching degree, you know, in my 30s, going back to college because I wanted, like, okay, I kind of like this, you know. So you seeing your family kind of in the teaching environment, it kind of sent you a different direction, and you think engineering, when did that become a thing for you? It became a thing. So after high school, I went to Bismarck High School right here, and then I, like a lot of young adults do, they go to Bismarck State College because maybe we have a lot more programs now than they did 25 years ago. But it was, at that time, it was more of a place where people would take their general education requirements before they transferred on to a larger university. Yeah. So that was the plan. Let's knock out a few classes here. It's a lot less expensive. It's going to transfer. Really none of that happened. I don't think I was ready. Maybe my maturity wasn't quite there. And I basically, after 3 semesters, was kicked out of school. I was on academic probation after 1 year, and then suspended. That's the following year, and I had to take a time out, and I had to sit the next few plays out, which means once you're suspended, you got to sit out a semester. So that was kind of a reality check for me. It's like, hey, I've been kicked out of college now because I didn't go to class. Or I didn't do the homework. What
were you doing when you just didn't want to? Or
I was
partying,
smoking weed, drinking beer, wallowing in self-pity. Had a breakup that I kind of just lost myself for a while, and kind of got in with some dudes that weren't super motivated. And I eventually got my shit together. I had to go to a different school. I graduated after a couple of years, and then moved back to Bismarck. And then I was in engineering for 10 years after that. Wow. How I got into teaching was, so I kind of reached, after 10 years as an engineering technician, I reached a little bit of a ceiling to where I'd kind of, I needed to upskill myself in order to move up the ladder. There was no longer upward mobility in my job.
In engineering?
Yeah.
What were you primarily working on?
So I wasn't a full-blown engineer, never have been. I had a 2-year degree, so that allowed me to do design drafting, map making, data collection. To a certain extent, you can do design, but unless you're like a licensed engineer, you could never officially like seal and stamp and sign a set of plans and say, yep, that's my project. Right, so you work in and around it. And that's why I think there's that appeal to do a 4-year degree, is you're going to have a higher earning ceiling. You're not going to hit that as quickly. With my 2-year degree, I think I did pretty well with what I had and moved up the ladder fairly quickly, but here I am at 28, 29, and I'm kind of stuck. So I went to school online to gain different skill sets so I could do different things and diversify myself. And then my instructors said, hey, you're kind of good at this. We have an opening for a teacher. Would you consider applying for it? And I'm like, well, I have no teaching experience at all. They're like, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Hell yeah.
You know your stuff. You'll learn how to teach. They have programs for people like you. I love that about Bismarck State College, is that they want to bring people from the workforce that have credibility, that have done the job, that can bring that experience into the classroom. And I think the students really appreciate that, is that it's not somebody up there who's never left higher education. It's somebody who's been out to the oil patch, or they've been in a refinery, or worked in a water treatment plant. They know how to do the job. And so they bring that knowledge into the classroom, and then you learn on the job how to become an instructor. So there's classes for that. And then part of the deal was like, I had to go back and get my teaching degree. So I did that too. But yeah, it was.
Wow. I'm always impressed when people are at later stages of their life and they say it so simply like you did. I just went and got this degree, or I went and did that, or because I'm not that person. I hated school. I didn't like it. I'm a hands-on kind of a person. It shows if I tell you the story of my life. It shows. I wasn't the school type. I just wanted to go out and work. And if you can tell me all you want how to do something, or you can write it down on a piece of paper and explain it to me, show me. Like, take me out there, put me in the chair or whatever. You have to show it to me because I don't learn that way.
Yeah.
So the schooling, when I hear people talk about schooling, I was always intimidated by, especially college. I never went to college, fresh out of whatever high school we did, and then just went straight into working because it was intimidating, the classroom stuff, people asking me to, am I going to have to recite a poem to you? Like, what do I have to do? I just never enjoyed it, never liked it, never felt like I was good at it.
Yeah.
So I'm always impressed when I hear people say, they went and got this degree at this college, or they went and whatever. Even the engineering thing that you said that, you might think is minuscule, as opposed to like becoming the engineer that can stamp a project or whatever. Like, that's huge to me. That's huge. It's super impressive.
I actually think this is a great, unique opportunity. We have someone who's very educated and educates other people. Do you encounter a lot of that in the students that you work with where they say, I don't learn this way and you have to teach it differently? Or how much do you have to adjust yourself to accommodate different people's learning styles?
You have to adjust yourself.
Okay.
And you mentioned, like what you were describing earlier, Jared, was you're an active learner. And probably I would say more active than visual.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But so there's a lot of folks like that. I'm one of them. And really what I should have done was taken a year off and not even gone to college right out of high school. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. And maybe more people should do that. But yes, as an instructor, you're going to have all different types of students in your classroom. Now, I guess my experience, because it's so specialized, I didn't see peaks and valleys or wide discrepancies in terms of ability or special needs or something like that. But it's kind of there's a type of person that's drawn to engineering and those kinds of,
that makes sense.
Disciplines. So usually they're good with math and numbers, and they like science, and they like working with their hands. So BSE is all about active learning up there. So we try to get people into jobs that are more of a trade or a skill, right? Mm-hmm. So it's you're going to be with us for a year, maybe 2, and we're going to get you into a good paying job that you can, have a career at and support yourself and have some upward mobility.
Sure. I like a lot of that because I feel like there's a lot of fluff in some higher education, and I feel like there's so much more practicality and efficiency in what you were describing. I feel like that's exactly what the focus should be, not for just walk away and say I have a fancy degree, but to actually have something that you can really use, Right. Yeah, and I'd heard what you mentioned too about taking a gap year out of high school before you go on to do higher education. I had that recommended to me by a friend of mine who was an attorney. I think he was a criminal defense attorney. And he said if you ever go, he was out of high school, he's make sure you take a year before you do that. And I thought, I was I'll take your word for it, because he was a super smart guy, but hearing that again reconfirmed that for me. Because you think it was more of the maturation process or exposure to getting a job and having some work experience before you enter that sphere?
I think part of it was I was very fortunate to have my parents write the check to the college for the tuition.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't playing with my money. And if I was on the hook for that tuition money, I think I would have taken it a lot more seriously.
Sure.
And that speaks to the lack of maturity of where I was at that point. I just kind of looked at it as an extension of high school. I wasn't a good student in high school either. Mm-hmm. I don't mind talking about it now, because I want young men and women that are maybe kind of going through something similar to I want to share that experience with them, because I had to fail before I like got to have a little bit more success in my life. Is like I had to be, had to regroup and kind of like, okay, well, let's take another crack at this, and maybe a change of scenery was what worked for me. And my dad was the one that found another college for me that kind of had programs that I was interested in. And so I'm very thankful that he pushed me in that direction. So I had to leave Bismarck for a couple of years, get that degree, and come back here. I guess I kind of wanted to move back to Bismarck. I've always liked it here. I had an opportunity to move out to California. There was a firm that was hiring people out in San Luis Obispo, California, for hiring technicians, and to this day I kind of I regret not giving it a chance. I could have always moved back had it not worked out. But then years later, I'm married and kids, and now I'm like, I want to move, and I'm like, I'm stuck here. Yeah. Right. Because I'm just ingrained in the community. So, I think maybe if this Mark at 47 could talk to the 20-year-old and be like, just go for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You can always move back home if it doesn't work out somewhere else.
Yeah, I tell myself that all the time. Yeah, what would you tell your younger self? It's try it. It's a lot of it. I'm like, you should have tried that. You shouldn't have been afraid of this. You shouldn't have done that. And then you're going, well, what would the 50-year-old me now tell me now about the things that I'm afraid of? And I still don't want to try. It's like, try it. I'm like, it's not that simple. I've got bills. I've got this. How am I supposed to make it work? So that's the weird thing about life. It's going by so fast. And at the same time, you're always looking back going, I shoulda. And I just didn't. And you never know. You have to work with the decisions that you're making, and just keep going forward and try to do better. That's right. That's about all we can do, really.
I personally think I can't remember if it was Jimmy Carr who said it. I thought it was a comedian, but he said like people in their 20s, like none of them anymore are taking nearly enough risks like they used to, like, and putting things on the line. And I think about that because like. Alex Hormozy has this quote. He says, like, when you're 80 and you're on your deathbed or whatever, he said, you're not going to look back and say, I'm glad I did what everyone else wanted me to do. And played it safe.
I love that.
It's like, that's great. No one says that,
Right. That's a good point.
Like, you want to have some unique lived experience because, like, being afraid of something that might happen is the same as believing in something positive that might happen. You both have to believe in something that you don't know for sure. And so why not believe the positive one, that they could work out. If you took a risk. Like, that's awesome.
And then the question is, what's the best way to conquer your fear? Right? And that's the question. Because people, I don't know what would have been the best thing. Like, for instance, if I was to go to college, or if I was to try something I was terrified of, like public speaking,
swimming with sharks.
Swimming with sharks, What is the best way to overcome it outside of just do it? Is there something else that you can do?
I have something that I use. You can all tell me what you think about this, because this has been really instrumental for me with the decisions that I've been making at my age, which is like...
How old are you, by the way?
22. I'll be 23 come October. And I guess for me, because I've taken, kind of some risky moves in the past couple years, is reframing like what it means. Like, what does being afraid tell you? And I think a lot of times you think being afraid tells you that, ooh, don't do that. But for me, within the right setting, a lot of times I reframe it as, this is an area where I am underdeveloped, and the fear tells me this is an opportunity to grow in that area. That's all it means. And so I'm like, that's my compass now. It's like, am I afraid to do public speaking? Am I afraid to quit this job and pursue this opportunity? That means it's an opportunity to grow. That's why you're afraid. That's what fear tells you. So reframing it so that you can still have the feeling, but it gives you information rather than making you want to cower away from something has been super useful for me.
Yes. And if you do something that you're super afraid of and you're terrified of, like, you actually go and do it. At the end of it, generally what you come away with is sigh of relief. That wasn't so bad.
Yep.
And that was an opportunity for me to grow. You realize those things after you've done it. So you kind of just do need to step into
without
it.
fail.
Yeah.
Without fail.
You got to go.
You
Don't procrastinate and stew on it.
Absolutely.
That's the worst.
You got to risk it for the biscuit.
You gotta risk it for the
Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
100%, man.
Yep.
So one of the questions I didn't ask you was, in between getting the engineering stuff and college and all that, were you working jobs out of high school? Were you doing anything part-time in between?
Yeah. My first job in high school was washing dishes at a truck stop. So I've had some, I've done food service. I worked for a private mail sorting center for a while. I worked at a meat processing plant.
Wow.
In Mandan. So I've done a lot of odd jobs. I did some roofing and framing in college cool. I've been a referee at one point in time. And now I've got this side gig as a CycleBar instructor. And, that was kind of like what you spoke to, Silas, was, at my age to try to go out and be a spin coach, you need to have your lungs need to be there, because that's one of the workouts where they're not just standing there like a drill sergeant telling you to pedal faster, Errol. It's you're on the bike with them.
Yep.
And you're mic'd up, and it's 45 minutes of a cardio. And the music's pumping, right? And the lights are flashing, and I need to be heard clearly. So I need to make sure that I'm able to do that, to give them coaching and motivation to get them through a 45-minute workout. So that was, there was risk there. I could have failed. There's an audition process. It's not like they just hand you a microphone and you're up there doing it. Like, it's a whole thing, and it takes what did it take? Probably 5 or 6 weeks to get through the boot camp, or what they call as boot camp.
Oh,
no! Shit.
Wow!
How did you first hear about the CycleBar Instructor? Who did someone tell you? How does that even come about?
They so this is there's I think over 200 of these cycle bars all throughout the United States. We're a pretty small market, I would say, to have one here in Bismarck. We're very, very fortunate to have our studio here. And so it was just, two local Bismarck people that I've grown to know over the years. First being a member there, starting off as just, someone who's paying their dues, showing up and taking classes.
Right.
I did that for like a year and a half. And then I remember reaching out to Taylor, the co-owner, and saying, hey, if you ever, I know you have a full roster right now, but if someone quits, or if you ever need, I would like you to consider me for that. And then probably like another 6 months went by or something. They didn't really have an opening at that time, and then they decided to give me a chance.
So was that something you were afraid to do, and you did it anyway, reached out, or was it something you genuinely, I want to teach this
I wanted
class?
to do it, but then I'm like, oh shit, this is hard. And there was times I wanted to quit boot camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
and I think what was even worse, and I could to a certain extent lean on my previous teaching experience in the classroom, but I wasn't mic'd up and pedaling at 115 beats per minute when I'm teaching engineering. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So and there's something about, like, in a spin class, once you hit play, there's no stopping really. And like, okay, we're gonna have a do-over here. Like, it's going, it's live. So you're planning your choreography based on the music, the vibe, the feel, like this, just the like what you feel in that moment. Is it a slow song? Is it something that's going to be heavy that it's going to be a hill climb? Okay. No, this one's fast. So we're going to sit down and we're going to take all the gear off and we're just going to blast for like 4 minutes.
Right.
And then while you're doing that, to not disappear and leave them on their own, but you got to be checking in with them.
Sure.
That's where the name thing comes into play. I'm going to push Gary in the back a little bit, or, maybe it's somebody's birthday. But it could have failed at that. getting up in front of the members, when you were a member and now you're in the front leading, it took me a while to find my voice. I didn't really know how I was supposed to be. And I think coming out of boot camp, I was like super robotic and just very much, I taught to the way I was coached. And I didn't really inject my personality until I got comfortable with the format and just being up there and being vulnerable, and like a spotlight on you. And sometimes we make mistakes. And I found out quickly that if I wasn't making at least one mistake every class in terms of trying something new, then I wasn't challenging myself as an instructor. Okay. We always talk about like stepping outside your box, and we're trying to like, hey, sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off, and we're going to help you. Like, it's something you can kind of apply it to life. And we always have one song in every ride that's called a connect song, and so that's where we don't really coach them in terms of pushing speed or power or anything, but it's more of like, let's share a life experience. Let's talk about something that's important to us and how we can all, like, maybe it's something very human. Maybe it's something about something that happened, current events, and how we can like come together, rally around something, have empathy for others, or just thank ourselves, or maybe just thank the universe that our bodies are healthy enough to allow us to do this, because there's a lot of folks out there that can't strap onto a CycleBar bike and go for a ride. So just be grateful for what we have and share those 45 minutes. And people, I always say, sometimes we don't want to come because it's hard work. So getting there initially is the hardest part, but to see the smiles on their faces when they're leaving and the sweat. Right. I love to see them when they're super sweaty at the end of the class. Cause if they're not, then I'm like, well, maybe I didn't push them hard enough. So next time they might get a little bit extra, a little something extra. So
got an extra song for you.
Yeah.
So do you get people online too? Like, as far as, is it just people in that class, or do you guys have like people that come online? Like, cause I see the commercials for like Peloton and stuff like that, where they do like through video. So do you get people through video also?
We get them. I understand what you're saying. We get them in a sense where they kind of leave that, like they've had that Peloton experience at home, doing the virtual, and they're like, yeah, that didn't work for me. My Peloton turned into a clothes rack. I'm just throwing my sweatshirts on it now.
Been there.
Or it's collecting dust, and I dropped like $3,000 on this, and there's a monthly fee. So showing up, you meet people. I've made the best of friends there. But it's accountability, like it's like, come on, sorry, let's go to that 5 a.m. Like,
right.
I don't want to let him down now. Right. If he shows up and I don't now, like, it's accountability. So,
so true.
I think just I'd never done group fitness in my life. I was always one to like maybe have some weights in the corner of my house in my garage. And I'm just like out there doing that. Part of it was because I was cheap and I didn't want to pay the membership dues, but I found something that I loved, that I was okay paying the dues on, because it was, to me, it's more about the community too now. Initially, it was about working out, improving my health, but now it's more like, to me, it's just like fun to ride bikes to loud music in the dark with other people.
Yeah.
So it kind of does sound cool when you say it that way.
You guys should all try it.
I'm going to have to after this. Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys, because I had a membership to, I think we still do actually, a membership to Hotworks.
Yeah.
And it's a sauna. And you're working out. They've got exercise bikes, but it's 30 degrees in there. Do you guys crank up the heat in these rooms, or is it?
No, we want you to be comfortable.
Okay.
There's ceiling fans in there, so we might leave the ceiling fans off for the first few minutes to let your body warm up. But no, you're gonna be comfortable. It's climate controlled environment. But we do have a lot of members that go to both places, Hotworks or other gyms in town, and they add CycleBar because they want that cardio.
I know that I
feel like I would like that better than Hot Works. There's something about like, I feel like I don't want it to be that hot.
Yeah.
Because, and I say that like, well, duh, you know, it's uncomfortable, but it's just like, I don't feel like that enhances anything except for like how much I sweat and maybe I'm just exhausted more, but not because I'm exerting myself. Yeah. You know, like it's just because it's exhausting to be hot the whole time, you know, while I'm working out. Like I want to be hot because I'm moving, you know. Right. I prefer that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind the heat. I know there's something
I'm sure
There's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
It definitely does just make you feel like
dehydrated.
You know, after 5 minutes, you're like, dude, I have been killing it. I'm working out so hard because you're hot, you're sweating instantly. So maybe in some sense, it just gives you this perception of I'm crushing it. You know, I'm in here. I'm a savage.
Might be good for your mental. You come out dripping. You know.
It is definitely. Yeah. Usually when we get done with a class, there's it's get out the bucket and mop.
That's funny.
So do you see a lot of the same people in your classes? And 2 questions, I suppose. Do you see a lot of the same group come back to your classes? And do you see a mixed bag of physiques? Or do you generally get, because people, you think of cycling, you generally think you're not going to get some 300-pound out-of-shape truck driver in there who just wants to cycle. It's like, do you find that people come in there more often after they've already maybe gotten in shape or done whatever, and now they just want to continue with the cardio stuff? Or do you get like a really wide variety of characters?
All of that.
Really?
Minimum age is 16. Okay. We don't see a lot of 16 to 19 or 20. But I know in my experience, and it's been open for almost 4 years. I've taught 2.5. I've had members come in their 60s, so 16 to maybe mid 60s, awesome. And all shapes and sizes, and also people like you described that maybe they haven't worked out for a long time and they want to improve their health and their quality of life, so they're starting from ground zero, the beginning. Wow. Where even just coming in, being vulnerable, getting on the bike, like not knowing what to expect. Yeah. This is very intimidating for a lot of folks. So we try to make everybody feel very, very welcome. And that first ride is about getting comfortable with the environment, trying to ride to the rhythm. Sure. That's a big part of what we do is you're riding to the beat. We choose our songs specifically for that reason. And then we hope that they come back, right? To keep, but and the second part of your question was, is it the same people?
Right.
We definitely have a crew, a solid, yes, we have our regulars.
I would imagine.
We would love to see some fresh faces.
Right.
For sure. We want to add to that crew. Yeah. Some newbies. So
you have people throw up ever?
Yes, there's been a few that have thrown up.
Oh boy!
And to make matters worse, you guys, you're clipped in on the bike.
Oh no!
Not to I don't want to be make it sound any worse than it is, but if that were to happen, that complicates things a little bit, because unless you know how to unclip your feet from the pedals quickly, you might not make it to the restroom.
Oh boy!
It sounds fun.
That'd be
like
rough.
A challenge.
Just let her go and keep pedaling.
Just keep
let her go. Is that recommended, or do you have? There's got to be some at the beginning before we start. If you have to throw up, there's a bucket.
We don't have we definitely have an intro every class.
Yes.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. Don't need to
specifically
give anyone any ideas.
Yeah.
Slow down if you need to.
But no, to answer your question, yes, it's happened a handful of times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, someone maybe pushes themselves too hard, or I don't know, maybe it was a morning class and they were out a little late the night before. It happens.
Yeah.
How's the setup? Are you facing the class, or are you a part of the group pedaling with them?
It is a tiered. It's like a movie theater. So the bikes are on different levels. Oh. So from the front of the class, it would get higher up. Oh. So there's 3 levels of bikes, and then the instructor is on a podium in the front. And then behind the instructor is a wall of mirrors. So if you are riding as a member, you're going to see yourself in the mirror. And then that allows you to check your form. Which is a big thing. Your body's going to be more efficient. You're going to get a better workout. You're going to be less likely to injure yourself if you can watch yourself and have that correct that form.
Sure. 45 minutes is a long time.
We can do 30 as well. We have that. We have that option.
For Jared, we have that option.
We have a 30-minute option.
Okay.
It's still got to be a workout, Jared. You can't just do 5 minutes.
Right.
And I shouldn't say it's not just choreo. There's upper body as well. On the bikes they have a weighted arm bar.
Oh.
You'd like this, Silas.
Yeah,
I can tell
yeah.
you're a guy that likes to lift his weights. But, and it's, you'd think a 6-pound bar, what's that going to do?
Right.
But trust me, when you don't have your feet under you, and we're here, we're doing shoulder presses, we're dropping a hand, and now it's a curl, or we're doing lateral raises. So you can,
I like that.
and so we always mix in an arm segment. Some classes have 3 or 4. We have different formats. So like if you like heavy hills, there's a format for that.
Okay.
If you like to jog out of the saddle or you want speed, we have a format for that. If you like the arms portions, we have different formats for different interests.
So as far as scheduling a class, is that an app? And you can pick like one of these formats? Because if I show up to a class, can you walk in? Do you have to schedule? How does that work?
It would be best if you booked through the app.
Right.
It would be a lot easier if like anybody can just go to the app store and download the CycleBar app. It should use your geographic location to pick our studio, which is in Northwest Bismarck.
5 minutes from my house.
If you know where Crumble Cookie's at.
Yes. I know exactly where
New York to go
Crumble Cookie
pizza.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's us. We're right there. So
I do this when I walk by CycleBar. I go
Crumble
Cookie thing.
Like, come on in.
Yeah.
Get in here,
Burn off
man.
those cookies.
That's
Burn off
right.
those cookies.
I want to have to
That's
try
funny.
it, man.
That's funny.
Yeah. So you just book through the app and you select your bike. There's different. So if you want to be in the back, I know like for a long time when I was new at it, I was self-conscious. And so I rode in the back corner because I didn't think anybody could see me. And then I got a little bit better, a little stronger, a little bit more confident. And I started then I'm in the second row. And then a little bit more time elapsed. And now I'm down in the front because I want to be close to the action. I liked it down in the front. And I had my favorite bike that I always had to ride on this bike number 7.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. So, and some folks have their favorite bikes too. Like,
Right.
it's just,
So after so many years of doing something like that, do you get acclimated to the 45 minutes and then it's like, well, I'm not working up that sweat anymore. I'm not sore anymore. Does that happen? Is it just kind of a maintenance thing at that point where I'm just maintaining my body?
It's maintenance for me now.
Right.
Yeah. It took me a while to get there.
Right.
My first couple times were pretty tough. And actually after the first ride, I'm not sure this is for me.
I can imagine.
I was sore.
Yeah.
My lungs weren't there. Was coughing up blood. I mean, it was, I was that guy that wasn't, I hadn't exercised. I'd lifted weights, but I have asthma. I have a heart condition. And even though I played, sports in high school and stuff like that, I was in my mid 40s now. And I wasn't very good to my body for a long period of time.
Wow.
So, I wanted to I don't know if I can do this. But then that frugal side of me is like, you're paying good money for this. So use it. I had an unlimited membership, right? So that means I pay a set amount and I can go as much as I want.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
so
nice.
Once I built up my endurance, the soreness went away. My lungs, my breathing capacity got a lot better. My form over time, I was tightened that up and got familiar with the formats. And there's, we have a number of instructors and everybody has their different style. They have their different kinds of music that they like to play. We do lots of different themes. If you like hip hop or country or rhythm and blues or EDM or whatever, and we like to dress up. We like to
death metal.
Death metal. We've done those kinds of rides as well.
Just angry people.
We had to advertise that just in case, let's say you hated death metal,
Right.
And you want to avoid that one, but you love. you love West Coast hip hop, so you want to come to that one instead, right?
That's cool.
But yeah, we try to decorate. This morning we had a blackout ride with glow lights, or the black lights. Sorry.
Okay.
Glow ride with black lights is what I meant to say.
Gotcha.
So you wear something that the black light's going to pick up, which is kind of cool. And then we turn the lights off, and yeah, it's.
Damn. What if I wanted to bike to like Beethoven or some classical, weird, non-motivational?
You might have to get like a special class, customized. Be like, I don't know.
That's good. That's very good music. The thing that we might struggle with that is we like to have that beat.
Right.
It's
I
a
can
one.
imagine, yeah.
It's that side to side.
Sure.
We want our pedal strokes to hit on that rhythm, and with some of that. There is a rhythm there.
Classical
for
tempo
sure.
changes quite a bit, though, right?
The tempo changes would be tricky because we break out our tempo changes based on the song. So if it happens within a song, you would really have to know that piece of music.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to look out, from my perspective as the instructor, and I'm going to see 25 people at different RPMs, everybody kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So I have used music in the past where the beat, there is no discernible drum. And then that's kind of where I'm like, okay, right now you need to turn off your brain
Sure.
and just kind of feel it.
Sure.
And then I'll shut up and let the music take them, and then I'll at some point bring them back. But see if they can actually, if I listen to this piece of music, and even though there aren't any drums, there's something else going on here where I can, whether it's the vocal or whatever's supporting that music, where they can find that rhythm on their own. So give them a little space, check in with them, keep them going.
See, I think the one, it's like the famous one, Moonlight Sonata, I think is what it's called. If you don't know what that is, you should go look that up and listen to it. I've tried to teach it to myself. I loved that piece. I think it's Beethoven. I love that piece so much. I bought a piano, tried to teach myself just to play that one song. And I gave up. But because it was tricky, but there's great YouTube videos, the instructional videos on YouTube, man. People who make instructional videos on how to do things is so impressive now. Like, they can make some of the best things. They'll show you exactly what key to hit, when to hit it, and all this. And I went and bought that. But I was thinking that song, that'd be interesting to bike to. I don't know if it would work, like you're saying, though. I don't know if it would, how well that would work out. But it's just one of those songs where I feel like I could get into my own head. And I would just, because I bring that up because a lot of times I'll work out, and instead of listening to music, instead of listening to a song where someone's singing and they're talking, I'll listen to instrumentals of a song.
Sure.
And I find I'm able to focus more on myself and what I'm doing here, as opposed to when I hear the song, I'm singing along to the song in my head. Yep. So I'm saying what he's saying, and I kind of get lost just in his song. I'm not necessarily there. You're there to better yourself, to improve yourself, to get in, maybe clean out some things mentally. And instrumentals allow me to play this movie in my head, and I'm the main character, and I'm able to literally focus in on myself, I feel. So that's why I like the instrumental type of music with no lyrics. It helps me.
You come to a CycleBar class, I will play that song for you.
I'll do it.
Promise. If it gets you in the door, I will do whatever it takes.
Hell yeah, brother.
And like I love that you said that, because that's powerful in our classes too. Like when the instructors, we have to pick the music, so it's not generated for us by corporate. We don't play the song of the week or the genre of the week. We get to pick that on our own.
Nice.
So that's us going on Spotify, knowing that we need to find 45 minutes of music with a 10-second crossfade. And some rides, like I said, it's all one theme, but I might, depending on my mood, go Beyonce into like Dwight Yoakam, and now we've got U2, or a class like Led Zeppelin or something. So a little something for everybody. But those songs that don't have the lyrical content, there's no vocals, it's just the instrumentals. If I want to deliver a message, because sometimes when there is a vocal, as the instructor, you're going to fight against that, and the members are like trying to hear the vocal of the musician, and I have to battle that as the instructor. And I have the ability to adjust volumes. My mic, I can drop the music down. And so I can balance that out a little bit. But if it's a really good or popular song, you sometimes will lose them a little bit.
Yeah.
I heard this on TikTok.
And that's fine. We love it when the members get like, if they hear a song they like and they're doing this and they're grooving out, and that is the best as the instructor, because then I know that they're comfortable and that they're having fun and that they're engaged.
Sure.
That's
awesome. So can you take us through, I know you said boot camp was 5 days or 5 weeks.
Like weeks, yeah.
What exactly, like, what is boot camp for the instructors? What is that? Did you have to fly somewhere and you're like at a camp? Was it online? How does that work?
It sounds probably more intense than it is. I think maybe they should come up with a better name for it. But,
I know that caught me
because
when
it's
you
not.
said
Yeah,
boot
it's
camp.
not. What it was. That's what they called it. I think since they've maybe dropped that. But okay, so it breaks down like this. In order to even get into boot camp, I had to record the first 3 songs of a class. They chose the music, and then that I recorded that using a can't remember the app that I used to record it, but somebody from the local studio, our lead instructor, would record me doing the first 3 songs, and then that gets sent to a master instructor somewhere else. Maybe it's California, and then if you pass that, then you're in boot camp. And then what they do is they take the 12 song sequence and they break it up into 4 segments. So you have to do 1 through 3 again. Then you're critiqued on that. You get feedback and you get a pass fail. And then let's say you get through 1 through 3, now you do 4 through 6. And so you take it in chunks, and like that's why it takes 4 or 5 weeks, is because the turnaround time for setting up the camera, recording it, and you might record that 2 or 3 times and submit your best one.
So you're on a bike.
Yeah.
At your house, you're on a bike
in
the studio just by yourself.
During, like, when we don't have a class, you would come in at night,
just record,
or on a weekend, and yep, you set up the camera and hi, my name's Mark. This is my week 2 audition, songs 4 through 6. I hope you enjoy it, and then you would pretend that you have
class.
Yep. So I'm calling out to like, hey, Steve, great job. You're looking good today.
Damn. See, that's impressive to me. I'm scared already. Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's good for me to do it though, man. Like, and then if you pass, let's say you passed all 4 segments.
Yeah.
Then you have to start it all over and put the whole thing together. So it's like A, B, C, D, and then you package it all together. You do one submission of a class, like a simulated class.
Sure.
And again, gets reviewed by a master instructor somewhere out of state. I think my master instructor was I had 2. One was in Florida, one was in Denver, I believe. And then if you pass that, then you are a certified
instructor.
Instructor.
Are they asking you to, like, I know you've got is that an Apple Watch?
It is, yeah.
Are they asking you to record like your vitals or anything, and we need to see all this, make sure you're up to it, or they're just going based off how you performed in these videos?
They're going to look at your form. The first thing they'll check is can you ride to the beat?
Right.
The instructor should be like a model of like how it should be done.
Sure.
So it's, first of all, they're going to check your rhythm. And then they might say, well, at 3 minutes and 30 seconds into song 4, you were ahead of the beat. So you need to slow back down. And that's easy to do if you have like mild anxiety and maybe a little caffeine before a class and you're amped up the way it is.
Sure.
So that's easy to do, is get ahead of yourself. Or when I get nervous, I talk very quickly.
Yeah.
That's my Achilles heel.
I'll do that
so then
too.
I need to like, okay, just take a couple breaths and just, so they'll catch all that stuff, and then it's constructive criticism. So they're just trying to help you pass. Sometimes it's a non-negotiable, and you might then you have to go back and re-record.
Right.
Thankfully, I never had to go. I don't think I had to go back and re-record anything. I made it barely. I was probably close to having to redo a couple things, but I eked by. I'm so happy that I did it, though.
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
It's been great for me.
I know when I'll take, whatever. Everybody has their New Year's resolution nonsense, and I'm going to get in shape. They say the gyms are full, January to whatever, February, if they can even get through January. But yeah, I've had moments in my life, I'm kind of in one right now where I'll work out religiously months or even a year, and then you fall off.
Yep.
And you get back in and you just have this great feeling. If you can stick to it for, let's say, even a month, you're like, yeah, let's go. I don't know what the thing is that eventually causes you to fall away. Some people, I'll just speak for myself. There's this thing. It's like, I think if you take the one day off, it's almost to that point where I think if I take just one day, that one day where I have that weakness and I'm like, I'm just gonna stay home tonight, that'll set the rest of it off for me.
Right.
Usually, it's like, now tomorrow I'm not going either. I might as well wait till this weekend's over, Yeah. So you almost exercise, man. You almost have to. You almost have to do it daily. I believe in giving yourself a break, maybe like a rest period if you have the mental strength to be able to come back from it. But it should almost be a daily thing, even if it's just like, well, I got out of my bed this morning and I did push-ups and some sit-ups on the floor. You should keep yourself mentally I'm always working out. Because I know if I quit, if I take that one day off, it's a problem. And I will make up an excuse the next day and the next day. And this will go on for months all of a sudden. And I think a lot of people deal with that. And it's, you do just have to, you kind of got to do it every day almost, It's just the benefits alone. I can't imagine. You got to feel so much better from where you were to where you are right now.
Better. Yeah, so much better. My joints feel a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Just my energy levels up. I feel like the instructing that I've done has done a lot for my self-confidence and my presentation skills when I go out in front of like industry or not so much with the high schools because I was kind of used to that, but when you have to present to your peers,
sure.
I don't really get nervous much anymore. But yeah, man, for a while, I think my record was like 26 straight days of cycling, and some of those were 2-a-days. Because I was in it, man. I was living it. I was like, I was seeing the results, and I was just convinced that I finally found something that for me is exactly what I need. And a little light weightlifting on the side at home and cycling. And I kind of ventured out and did a few some other local gyms in town that we did some collaborations with and things like that. So I had tried some other things. And some of them I enjoyed, some I didn't love, but kept coming back to the cycling because it's just, I don't know, it's a good fit for me. It doesn't really feel like working out, if that makes sense. It's kind of like I'm having fun.
Sure.
And then you realize after like 30 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm actually like, this is for real.
Oh, yeah. I think cardio too is like, I would almost say, you've got your bodybuilders, you guys that are, the muscle dudes. Well, Seth, Corey, whatever. We know guys who are just gym bros, right? I would, and I don't even know if I need to say this, but I would argue cardio is way more important than muscle building and having the muscles, right? I watch these shows alone where these guys go out with a camera in the woods and they're just alone trying to survive for 3 months or whatever, naked and afraid. Shows like that. The Amazing Race. Whatever those, shows are where it's like survival type stuff. You notice really quickly that cardio is extremely important. Even you'll see like big jack dudes and they're just, 10 minutes in, whatever it is.
You think about the opening scene from, was it Zombieland? When because to outrun the zombies, and it was like rule number 1, cardio.
Yeah.
To get away from the pending zombie attacks.
Oh, yeah. It's so important, man. even the Sean Ryan show, which I love so much. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Sean Ryan show, he interviews a lot of former veterans, guys that have been over in special forces guys and stuff like that. And he was like, those guys would come back from tours, and they would just go in the gym and they would set that treadmill on incline. They'd put on a weighted vest and just walk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Walk. And other people are coming in like, what are you doing? I'm over here lifting weights. The younger guys, we're getting our biceps. And those older dudes that have been to war, they know what it's all about. They're just walking on a treadmill with a weighted vest on. They would come back and do a lot of that stuff. And it's just your cardio. When you're in survival situations, anything like that in life, that cardio is going to be so wildly, it's more important than you could possibly imagine.
Right.
That you could run a mile, which most 90% of us probably can't anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, could you do that? In a survival situation, you're probably going to have to run a lot longer than a mile.
Right.
And people can't. It's so important.
Oh, walk a mile.
Try walking. Right. Try walking a mile.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, especially some terrain that changes.
Oh, yeah. My God.
Well, when you think about it, too, especially for special forces, it makes so much sense because, obviously when it comes to fitness, your heart is a muscle, right? And so people get caught up in the vanity of fitness and only, focusing on the muscles that you can see. But without your bicep functioning, you will still live, but your heart not functioning means absolute death, instantaneously. And so it's more important to over index on that a little bit, because in those situations, you have weapons, so if the guy can bench more than you, you still can kill him. You can still fight back, but if you can't move well, that's a huge problem. Right.
It's true.
Well, plus with getting older and stuff too, taking care of your joints and all that stuff versus that can't be good either. Bodybuilding when you're 60 years old, how good is that on your elbows and your knees? And
ask Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, it's important to be strong, but there's always a turning point where you can go too far, and it.
Do you ever take biking out of the studio? Do you have a mountain bike or something where you go?
Recreationally.
Really?
I'm not an avid outdoor cycler, although I've been looking very closely lately at an e-bike. I'm looking at the different styles, trying to decide if I do get one, they're kind of expensive. I want to make sure I get one that's going to suit my lifestyle. Do I go down to my local bike shop and get one here? Do I buy one online? There's some risk involved with that. The prices are better, but you don't necessarily know what you're getting.
I don't even.
So it's more recreational for me. I would never probably choose that as a workout. That would be more of a fun activity I would do with someone.
Yeah.
The electronic bikes, you can have them do things like assistance with inclines and stuff like that, where it's almost
Is that what that is?
I think so. I might be wrong. Is that right?
There's 3 classes of them, and I'm certainly not an expert, but so you can. It's pedal assist. So when you there's either a cadence sensor or a torque sensor somewhere on the bike, so that it knows to engage. The motor's not always going, but on your downstroke, when it feels that effort that you're putting in, then it'll kick in the motor and assist you. Then there's another classification that would have a throttle, a thumb or a twist throttle. Okay, and then you can let off the pedals and now you're just complete. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Right. I'm looking to do as little work as possible. This is more like a commuter situation. Something I can take my dog out with, like a fat tire style with the big 4-inch tires on it that I can get actually because with an e-bike, I don't know that I would want to occupy the same trails as someone on a pedal bike. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be allowed to have those on the trail that goes along the river there, because I've been in situations where I've been walking with my dog or on a bike and someone comes whizzing by on one of those things at 25 or 30 miles an hour, which is very easy to do. And the trail's maybe 8 to 10 feet wide. It's problematic.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Larger cities are having trouble with those people getting in accidents in urban areas. I think California actually just recently they can only go up to 20 miles an hour now, where they used to do 28 to 35. because of that reason. People were getting hurt and killed in some cases on those e-bikes.
Get clipped by something like that, you know? Yeah.
I can imagine.
They'll go as fast as basically like a little gas scooter would.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've wanted to try. They've got all over the city those little scooters that
bird
you can
ones?
just rent. Yeah.
You haven't?
I've never tried
I've done
one.
them a couple times.
Because usually I'm a little bit intoxicated when I see one, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't hop on it.
It's probably the time you don't want to do it.
Yeah, you walk by that e-bike.
It would be the time. It would probably be a lot of fun though.
Yep.
Just hop on, and it's an app, right? You just
I've never
so
done
weird.
it.
You see them laying everywhere.
Just hanging out.
It's funny when you see like a group of like 5 people all on the scooters, you know, in downtown. I see that every now and then. It is fun. You think like it's almost something that should come with a helmet though.
Yeah.
Or something. Because like it's easy to just like biff it on those things.
How is that not a legal thing?
It might be.
Like
it kind of depends on the
sign
community.
in, you probably sign some guys.
I'm sure there's a waiver.
You're checking a box that say I will not.
You know,
you sign.
You're not liable for me not wearing a helmet or
front teeth are missing because I curbed the. You know, I took a header over the handlebars. And,
man.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to ask that I didn't ask that I remembered was so like, you know, like, is there the same thing as like when you get like a runner's high? Is there that on the bike also?
I know what you're talking about, and actually trying to run is what led me to cycling because my knees just couldn't take the pounding. So I've never experienced a runner's high. So I guess I couldn't answer that.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good question.
How long do you think you could bike for? Like if we just take away all the timers and
maybe
let
like
you go
2 hours.
Yeah,
on the in the studio on the bike.
Oh, God.
You'd be a little sore. I'd probably recommend like some padded shorts if you're going to be in the saddle that long.
Especially not riding a bike. I suppose the seat's what gets you. Huh?
The seat your body will probably go, but the seat is going to be uncomfortable after a while. So every now and then, if it's a special occasion, maybe it's like Thanksgiving, we'll do a 90-minute ride.
Oh.
A 60-minute ride.
Sure.
That's an option. It's infrequent, but we do have those options. Right. They're actually pretty popular.
I bet. Yeah.
And that you don't have to go full 100% the whole 90 minutes. You shouldn't. You should take a song and just chill.
Yeah. Right.
And just listen to it and then re-engage yourself. Yeah, like your heart rate's going to do this the whole time. You're up and down, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Huh.
Yeah. People around the holiday season, they're feeling a little bit like, ooh, I had that extra pizza.
Right.
Let me do some more.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of pizza, what have you, do you eat completely clean? Are you the chicken and rice guy or?
I've been that guy, but not right now.
Be that. I hate that.
I'm very much not that guy right now. I'm the McDonald's app, extra value meal twice last week. And one stop at a buffet for lunch too.
I like that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Haven't been as clean lately with my diet.
I think if you work out as much, you can afford to have that balance there a little bit. You don't.
It's okay
to do them both, chicken and rice, and scale out my food and this. I think that'll drive you crazy. You know, that's what gets people to quit working out.
Right.
Because this is a boring, miserable life. I can't enjoy anything anymore. You know, you almost have to be dedicated to like, I have a competition coming up, you know, a bodybuilding competition. Or there has to be some physical goal on the horizon that I am working towards. Otherwise, it's just like, so this is maintaining my life forever? And I just have to, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to McDonald's.
No, I agree. I think it really depends on like what you're optimizing for. Like, what's your goal? Like, do I just want to be in the best possible shape that I could ever be in? Then you'd be like, okay, you know, I do this, and you can start to enjoy it. I think there's a lot of like, it takes more effort, but there's so many good, healthy recipes you can do. It takes more work. You got to shop, you know, like you can't like have things instantly, you know, unless you meal prep, which you spent hours doing it earlier. So now you can have it. But I also think it's like food is it is honestly one of the best things about like human experience. Like it's so much of a social thing. And then like having things that are convenient and enjoyable is like really great. And so it's like, if you're optimizing to just like enjoy your life, work out, eat some chicken and rice every now and then go have some McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
That's
you know?
right.
Like, I think that's fine. I do.
like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I like to cook too, man. So
Yeah.
it's like I really enjoy that process and creating something. So I like what Silas said too, like going out for a nice evening meal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have that steak. You know,
Do it.
I'm going to eat the chicken Alfredo, even though I know it's bad for me.
Do it.
We only live this one life.
That
Right?
is
I'm not going
true.
to deprive myself of a 9-piece chicken nugget because
So true, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a few pounds heavier than I was last year at this time. Right.
Mhm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure.
Too far one way or the other.
Yeah.
Just is never. I don't think it's that healthy.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like people that are so deep into it, like they enjoy being really strict. Like, and if you can enjoy it, then
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like rigidity. You're like,
Right.
I'm beating everybody else is what you feel
The
like.
discipline
Yeah.
is they're getting some kind of satisfaction.
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
yeah.
Their
Mhm.
mental status is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
people do it and they're going to drive them insane, right?
Yeah, uh-huh. You
So
know?
he might be physically healthy, but maybe not so mentally. Anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
good
it's a
point.
real thing. On that, this is actually kind of a weird side note, but I wanted to bring this up because I heard something interesting that exercise, like even going on a walk, you know, definitely doing what you do for sure, like weightlifting. When you're contracting your muscles, it releases certain, like, it's like there's a pharmacy in your muscles and it releases like drugs in your brain that create, like, it staves off like depression and anxiety. It increases, it's not just dopamine that it releases, but it releases a lot of hormones or whatever in your body that increases your resilience towards negative emotion and things like that. And so it's really good for people that are like in depression. Like you think, I'm depressed and I can't go to the gym, but it's like if you went, you'd feel better after.
You wouldn't be depressed.
You know,
yeah.
you wouldn't be depressed, you know?
I agree.
Yeah, it's
Great
like
point.
it has it in there for you, but you have to go,
You got to go get it.
you got to go get
Yeah.
it, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And that reminds me, we're not going to do much longer here because it's getting hot in here. But that reminds me, when you talked about the depression thing, what?
How it works.
Yeah, obviously.
I have an
do
air
some
condition-
push-ups. Yeah,
Right? Yeah, I'm down.
Sit-ups maybe. We'll do some burpees.
If I turn that on, it screws up my audio.
Oh,
We do have air in
we're
here.
doing good.
Yeah.
But talking about the depression thing, I know, and I hate to kind of go back to stuff like this, but I know you had mentioned that you had gone through a divorce and you were super depressed and you were drinking. Was that at that same time that you were like kind of falling out of your life when you were going through this divorce thing? I want to preface this by saying I don't want to dig too deep into people's personal lives and issues that they might not want to talk about.
Sure.
So I just want to offer some kind of value to people that might be listening to this. So if you could just vaguely maybe give some of the lessons that you learned from going through all of that to someone who might be dealing with something similar.
Okay.
You know, a divorce, having children at the same time, and trying to deal with the stresses of jobs. I don't know. I wish I could narrow that question down a little
Yeah.
more, but
How do you
people
cope?
dealing, how do you cope
Yeah.
with like depression? Like you figured out, I guess, maybe through working out. Maybe that was it for you. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I had to. I don't. I'm the kind of person that, for whatever reason, learns things the hard way. And I don't even know at the time that I realized how down I was, but I wasn't doing anything to try to make that better. The easiest thing to do would just be to drink that away and just numb it. I was seeing a doctor at the time too, so I was on some antidepressants over the counter as well. And I don't, in my experience, I ran through a bunch of them. I don't feel like those really helped me at all. In some cases made it worse because I was on a few that were highly addictive and had a strong percentage chance that you would abuse that medication. So thankfully I'm not on anything anymore. But yes, working out and being around people that, and this is, I'm not unique. There's a lot of people that have gone through divorces or much worse.
Sure.
in their lives. So my experience, although it sucked for a while, people have certainly are going through and have gone through a lot worse, but I'm lucky to be surrounded with good friends and family, and very supportive people around me, even though I would sometimes fight that support and not take the help. I'm very stubborn like that. Yeah. And no, I can do it. I'm fine.
Sure.
But yeah, I think getting into group fitness, man, like I wouldn't say it saved my life. I don't think I was that far gone, but it did, like what Silas was saying about tapping into that endorphin that we have that's laying within us, that we got to go out and extract it through maybe exercise or something else that gets you going. Maybe it's music.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Maybe it's playing pickup basketball at the YMCA. Like it's, I'm just speaking to my experience of cycling, but it could be that outdoor mountain biking or downhill skiing, or maybe it's art. For me, it was cycling, and I think just the accountability, feeling better. It's not just about looking better. It's about how it made me feel.
Sure.
The pep in my step was back. Like I was like, my next thing was like, I am going to keep doing this until I can dunk a basketball on a 10-foot hoop again, like I could when I was 18. And so I was like down to my like high school weight, and I was getting close. Thankfully I got large enough hands where I can palm a basketball. I can't get the lift that I need. Even when I was leaner than I am now, I just couldn't get to where I could just
need that trampoline.
I could do like a little ball like this, like a tennis ball or a softball. I could get over, but I just couldn't get at my age. I just couldn't make it happen. But damn close though.
That's good. Yeah, at least you went for it.
Yeah, you got to have goals, man.
That's
like,
something.
Even if you don't achieve those goals,
right?
Like it's okay.
Right. That's true.
To fail
Try
at the goal. It's just to have something to try to work for.
You'll be higher. Yeah. You'll aim for the moon or aim for the stars, and you'll hit the moon, or however that saying goes. That's always been, I don't know, lately something I've been trying to get myself to do is I want to increase my jump height for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just...
We need to do lunges and squats then.
Right.
There's got to be some exercises specifically, and I'm not into like sports medicine or anything like that, or like I'm not a coach in that sense where I don't have any formal training on which muscle groups that we should be working on to increase our vertical leaps.
Yeah.
But
looks like a lot of us in your legs though.
Right.
You need to train them.
Right. You know what's interesting? Leg workouts are the ones I hate the most.
Yep. Same.
That's you and everyone else.
Same.
Yeah.
You always skip leg day.
Just add like weight to your legs and eventually take them off.
Maybe I'll do, with my weighted vest. I'll put the weighted vest on and start jumping around.
It can't hurt.
That's right. All right. Well, there was one other question I needed to ask you. So, this is just an interesting, weird question that I had while you were talking about engineering. So, if you were to be able to talk to Elon Musk, what would you ask him, and what do you think about what he's doing from an engineering perspective? Because that's his thing, right? He's we see him as the space guy. We see him as, but he'll say he's an engineer, That would be an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, I'll answer it from the engineering perspective only. I've actually been considering an electric vehicle recently too. I'm nearing the end of the life cycle on my current one, and so I said 2 vehicles ago that would be my last internal combustion vehicle. And I think if I was living in Texas, I would have made that jump already.
Oh yeah.
So I'm all aboard on the EV train, or at least a hybrid, if nothing else. And I think that's kind of where it's settling. And I can get back to your question here, but I think initially there was that push on EVs, and the early ones weren't awesome. Like with any technology, like those early releases are not going to be where they're at now, or will be in 5 years. But when you take a smaller, more fuel-efficient gasoline engine combined with the electronic, the battery packs, I think that's probably what you'll see. I know like Ford and Toyota, Honda are big into that technology right now. So I think that's, at least in the United States, because you don't see diesel engines in passenger cars like you do in Europe.
Yeah.
But I guess what I would like to ask him is, I don't know that I would have any engineering related questions, although I'm all about space exploration and I would hope that they would continue to do that. But I would say maybe take a look into your, I'm speaking directly to Elon, and maybe you could do some donating of some of your money to some worthwhile causes. I don't know if maybe he's already doing that. I haven't seen that in the news like I have seen it from other incredibly wealthy billionaires where they're donating to certain causes, humanitarian causes around the world. Yeah. I don't know, and maybe I don't follow it as much as I should. Maybe he's already have some worthwhile causes that he's contributing to. But he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that I would really want to work for, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. He's very intense. I've heard he screams behind the scenes. I don't know. You hear things, right?
You hear things, right? Sure. Exactly. I don't know how true that is, but I think as far as like in terms of like continuing to push the boundaries of technology, I'm all for that.
He's doing some wild stuff.
Yeah. So on that side, on just like what you asked about, like let's talk about the engineering and the design and like where we're headed with the products that he's creating.
Sure.
I would say please continue to work with your engineers and your scientists and your designers to evolve this and continue to push the boundaries of what these things can do.
Get into hydrogen, maybe. Right.
I have an uncle that was a science teacher in Jamestown for a number of years, and he always thought that hydrogen fuel cells were the way to go. And I think Toyota has one, but I'm not sure why hydrogen hasn't been a thing.
Can't figure that out either.
Hasn't caught on, but yeah, because to produce the electricity that we need to pump into the batteries of the cars, we have to burn. Well, usually it's coal, right? So it's not an EV is not this clean thing that we think it is. It's kind of what the media wants us to believe, but that energy still has to come from somewhere. And even though that car doesn't have an internal combustion engine,
still have to build all the stuff, right?
And all the plastics that go into it. And then what happens to those batteries when they've reached their life and they can't, they're not efficient anymore? What happens to those batteries? Do they go into a landfill?
I heard they couldn't even destroy them. They just kind of have
I think there is a company that actually refurbishes them. I think there is a company that does that, if I recall, but don't quote me on it 100%. But I think I did read about a company that does do that.
Yeah, that would be probably, if everybody's going EV, that'd be where the money is to get into that kind of, I'll refurbish the batteries. That'd be the ticket right there, hopefully. I don't know. I like what you said about having the, what do you call them, the hybrid vehicles. I think I would even be interested in buying a hybrid vehicle. Everybody, for sure in North Dakota, we're all a little more, no, we need our diesel trucks and we need this and that. We got those guys, the oil field guys and the coal guys and all this, right? So everybody, you see electric vehicles rolling around. They're like, what are you doing in the winter? It's going to die on you, all this. Everybody's got their fears, right, of the electric vehicles. And I get it. We just all have survived through North Dakota winters.
Right.
And we feel more safe when we can just pull into a gas. They don't have the stations everywhere to charge these things. They haven't done that yet. The infrastructure isn't there.
We don't have the infrastructure. And as you were talking, Jared, I actually had a real answer to your question. Is that it? And it was exactly what you had alluded to it, I guess. But is what can we do to the vehicles to make them more efficient in our climate?
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing is like the infrastructure. You hit on that. If I want to drive to Fargo, I'm barely going to make it with a 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Like it's right there. Even if you buy the biggest battery pack and the battery is fully charged, you're going to be near like 20% by the time you get to Fargo.
Right.
And then I've got a 35-minute wait at a charging station if there's nobody in front of me.
Sure.
So it's having that infrastructure and then making them more efficient in the cold. I know the new Mustang Mach-E's got a heat pump in there, so there's other companies that are working to make them more efficient or lose less energy in the colder climates, retain more of that energy when the car is parked. But that would be. I always have the fear of like you getting out to your vehicle and the battery's dead, and now you got to call a tow truck.
Right.
You can't even like get it to the fuel station because that's not going to do you any good. You know, like.
Right. And then it's like, even if I have a gas vehicle and I run out of gas, I can call AAA or whoever and they can bring me a can of gas.
Yeah.
What do they do if I have an EV and I tell them,
Bring
are
a
they
whole
going to
new
bring me
battery?
a charge? Like, what happens there?
You're
like
getting a tow truck to a
we're
charging
not,
station.
Right. We're not set up for it really well.
I'm
you
assuming
know?
that's not too good on the batteries either if they get completely drained, right?
I'm sure it's not. No,
No.
no, that can't be good for them.
And then there's that constant question everybody asks. None of us know because we're not engineers. It's like in a vehicle, especially electric vehicles, it's like the wheels are spinning, right? How have they not figured out a way for those spinning wheels, that motion, to recharge the battery as it's
To convert
driving,
that kinetic
It,
energy.
to a certain extent, it does. There's
Do
that
they?
regenerative.
but it's just not enough?
It's not enough to perpetually keep it going.
Because that would be cool.
It helps. I don't know what percentage. If it's 5% of your battery is recouped
right.
through that.
that's
but
it,
they do. I think most of them have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all something I've always thought about. Because, you
They
remember the windmill type waterfall, the water goes into the windmill and
Yeah.
it turns and generates.
Violation of the law of thermodynamics.
Yeah.
But it would be cool. I see those
thinking-
videos all the time, and everyone in the comments is like, "Where's the battery?"
Yeah, it's just, there's so many questions, and someone made a clip I just recently watched, and they were talking about Elon Musk specifically, and they were saying, if you look at what he has done, right, it's not even so much. If you take a, 10,000 view look down at what Elon Musk is doing, it's not even necessarily, it all fits into his plan of going to Mars, basically. It's like he's building robots. What would you need on Mars? You're going to need robotics. He's building electric vehicles. You're not going to have diesel. You're not going to have gas on Mars. You're going to need electricity. Yep. He's doing that. He's building this boring company. The boring company to tunnel underground. On Mars, you're probably not going to have the greatest ability to build structures and whatever else. You might have to do some tunneling, whatever. Everything ties. He's doing the rockets. He's got SpaceX. He's doing how do you communicate back to Earth when you get to Mars? He's got these satellites, Starlink. Everything ties into him going to Mars. If you really think about it, you're like, he's just testing all this out on Earth, right? And then he wants to ship it up to Mars. If you ask him, that's the end goal. He wants to make life multiplanetary, and he wants to get us to Mars. So it's very, it's interesting what he's doing. And that makes a little more sense if you think about it that way. Why he's not mixing? He's not trying to make the hybrid type vehicles.
Right.
He needs to have an all electric car.
I don't think you'll see that from Tesla specifically. Right. I think that's going to be more of a mass marketed option.
I agree.
Mainstream, but you're absolutely right. And I think initially in my opinion, it probably started out as like a mining operation where they're going to pull for either whether it's the moon or Mars. It's like, what can we harvest from those planets as resources?
Yeah. Didn't think about that.
before we colonize it. It's like what, as we still have some hopefully life left in this planet that we're living in right now. Exactly. Have you guys ever seen the movie Moon with Sam Rockwell?
I don't know.
Check that one out. It's pretty wild. If you like sci-fi, it's about.
I just want to see him go back to the moon first, because somehow we just imaginatively lost the technology to go there. It just disappeared. So
right. That could be a whole other discussion for another show sometime.
No kidding. Yeah, we're gonna have you back on for sure at some point, man. This has been awesome, Mark. I appreciate you coming in. We all do. I can't even tell you how much this means to me because I've wanted to have guests on this show. That's why I have 4 chairs in here. Usually there's just 2 of us in here doing reaction videos or whatever else. And I need to get better at interviewing. We haven't gotten to do a whole lot of... So I'm working on my skills at that, and it's just great to finally have fresh perspective. I watch podcasts all the time, and one of the biggest things that draws me to watching those podcasts is... who's he got on this time? What guest? Well, this interesting person that I've never heard of, So that's why I want to have people on. And you've been freaking awesome, man. I hope.
Perfectly fit the bill.
100%. I couldn't have asked more.
Very kind.
I really couldn't. And you have my phone number. You're going to have to hold me to getting into a cycle class.
Yeah.
I have to do it.
All of you guys. We can ride together. We'll put you side by side in the back. We'll get you in the back, nice and safe.
Put me in the back.
Judgment-free zone.
That would be super cool. Skeezy, he's gonna have to get in some more shape, but we'll get in there.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
I do too. I'm completely out of shape right now, but we'll try it.
All right.
Yeah, this has been awesome. Does anybody else have a quick question or any closing remarks they want to ask Mark before we end this? No?
Well, you did good, man.
Perfect.
Oh, it was great to meet all you guys. Thanks for having me. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun. If you'd ever want me to come back, we'll talk about whatever comes up, man. Anything.
Yes, the next time there's a big alien thing, come on.
Yeah.
You know we got the alcohol. We might get a little tuned up, and we'll talk space stuff.
Let's do it. If I have another experience,
yes,
you guys will be the first to know.
Hey, hell yeah, man.
We'll have a little therapy session.
Let's do it
together. Yeah.
What's cooler than that?
Well, keep it simple, stupid.